I'm Rita Wilson.
Hey, I'm Kimberly Perry. My new EP, Bloom, is out now.
I'm Jake Worthington.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Metz.
I'm Drake Milligan.
I'm Travis Denning.
I'm Callista Clark.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Ben. And we're the Boomtown Saints.
I'm Emily Ann Roberts.
Hey guys, I'm Kid G.
Last Music Universe.
Hey everybody, Matt Bailey here on Lower Broadway, where just a few days ago these streets were lined with almost 100,000 people here in town for CMA Fest. Unfortunately, because he's with family, Buddy could not be with us for coverage, so you get to see a lot of very cool interviews that I got to do.
Hey Matt, you trying to tell everybody I'm not in Nashville?
You're late is what you are.
I am, and you're not wearing your branded shirt.
I know I'm not wearing my branded shirt. Here's what happened, okay? I brought a couple with me, and the very last one I had, it was...
My girlfriend signed it.
It was vandalized by somebody. Take a look.
Over here.
Hi, Ms. McIntyre. It's an honor. Please call me Reba. Hi, Reba. So, I have two questions. One, I'll ask in a second, but the first one is... I was at Madison Square Garden, and it was an honor to see you there.
Thank you.
We know it was professionally recorded. Any plans to maybe get a live album, a live DVD? I know when you recorded Triple R, you went in the studio, did live versions of, you recorded the way that you play live, but are we going to get a live recording?
Yeah. When? July? In July. Interviews like this.
And later today, I'm going to get another legend of country music, Mr. Randy Travis. I'm going to have him sign this polo. I was wondering if I could put your signature on it as well.
Are you going to take it off and throw it at me? Because that's a big gap right there. I don't know how we do that.
Sure.
Oh, you're serious?
I have an undershirt on.
Can't pass that up.
I didn't realize there was such a gap.
Could you hold? I sure will.
I didn't know you said. I'm sorry. Oh, you are going to take it off. Okay. You came prepared.
Yes.
That's not at me. Here you go, Lisa.
It's Matt, M-A-T-T.
To Matt. Thank you for so. There you go.
All right, so we'll tell you what's going on. I've been here all week.
You have.
Buddy just got here last night, 3 days after CMA Fest ended.
Well, there's a reason for it.
And we'll get to that at the end. But to kick things off, we have a really, really cool interview with somebody you probably more likely know as a film and TV producer and star rather than music, but her music is so really, really great. In our booth over at CMA Fest, I had a chance to talk with Rita Wilson.
Beautiful voice, beautiful lady, and I know you had fun with this one.
Yes, I did. Take a look. We are here with the one, the only Miss Rita Wilson.
Hello.
Hi, Rita. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you today.
Nice to see you. What number CMA Fest does this make for you?
I think it's 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
because you've been releasing music going back to at least 2016, correct?
Actually, my first album came out in 2012.
Yes.
It was called AM/FM. It was an album of covers.
Yep.
And then my first album of original music came out in 2016.
Very cool.
Called Halfway to Home, I think. No, it was called Rita. It was called Rita Wilson because someone told me that your first album of original music should always be your own name, and that's why I called it that.
That's very cool.
Eponymous.
Very, very cool. And then you did a duets album.
Correct. That just came out.
Yes.
It's called Rita Wilson Now and Forever Duets. Yes. And as you know, I love the 70s, so yes. I can't escape it. I love it. I think the songwriting from that period was pretty incredible. But on that album, I took classic 70s songs and sort of re-envisioned them as conversations, and they became duets and have some really fun guests on that.
Yes, you do. Do you have a favorite guest or a guest that you got in a surprising way that you didn't think would say yes?
Well, the first person to sign on was Willie Nelson, which was mind-blowing. And we did Paul Simon's Slip Sliding Away.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Keith Urban
Yes.
and Vince Gill and Jackson Brown, Jimmy Allen, Josh Groban, Elvis Costello,
Yes.
Smokey Robinson.
Yes. there we
Smokey
go.
Robinson.
You know,
he's-
that's the name I was trying to ask you about. Oh, my gosh.
What a perfect human being
What a
he
legend,
is.
what a
He's written over 4,000 songs.
Wow.
Just think about that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You have done so much in your career in public life. What made you want to get into music as a creative outlet?
Well, I always wanted to do music, even as a kid. And I think people know what they want to do when they're kids, but they somehow get sidelined either by their parents saying, like, music, that's not a real job, something like that. And it wasn't until I met Cara Diaguardi, who asked me what I wanted to do. She's an amazing songwriter and publisher. And she said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I would love to write music like you, but I can't. She said, why? And I said, well, I don't read music. I don't play an instrument. She said, neither do I. Do you have something you want to say? And when she said that, I was like, wow, that's the question. And so she said, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to write your first songs with you. And she did. So she really mentored me. And that really started the whole songwriting. And the reason why I'm here talking to you today.
Were you surprised that you could do it? Did it catch you off guard?
It was almost like... Yes, it did catch me off guard because it was like so close. It was such a dream that I always wanted that I didn't ever, I think it had passed me by. I thought it had passed me by. But the truth is that there's no clock on creativity and we only are limited by what we believe we can or can't do.
I love that. And I was listening to a song on the way back from Nissan last night, Little Black Dress.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's such a creative take on womanhood and what it means, and it just felt so empowering to listen to.
Thank
It's really
you.
wonderful.
I wrote that one with Lori McKenna, an amazing songwriter, and Phil Barton. And that was the idea. It's like, I remember for myself when I see a piece of clothing in my wardrobe, I'm like, I remember who I was talking to, where we were, what the event was, what I felt like. And I thought, well, every woman has a little black dress in their closet, and it's sort of like, what has that dress represented to this particular woman over the course of her life?
So what's next? Are you perhaps going to be on the road? More music? What's coming next?
Well, I have a new song coming out. I'm also a producer, so I produced my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. That's coming out on Labor Day, and I have a song in that I wrote with the amazing Diane Warren.
Wow.
And I have a song out in the movie A Man Called Otto, which I also produced, and that song is called Till You're Home, and wrote that with David Hodges, who's based here in Nashville. I think creatively, creative people are creative people. I don't know a person who is creative in one area that isn't creative in another.
Of course.
Because it's almost like an engine that has to be running and out there in order to work. And so many people I know that are creative do many different things.
Yeah.
They paint, they write, they sculpt, they sew, there's just a million things that you can do. So,
And speaking of doing a million things, because you do so much, is there time to maybe go out on the road, tour a little bit?
oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. This year, because of producing the movies, my schedule didn't allow me to tour. That's why I'm so happy to be here at CMA Fest
That's fantastic.
and performing and doing shows here. But yeah, definitely,
Yeah, how
because
did
there's so much. I learned so much about my own music through the audiences. I mean, the audiences are a huge part of your performance experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course. So how did it go last night? Chevy Riverfront.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. The audiences were fantastic. I loved watching people singing along to the songs, and everybody already knew Little Black Dress, which was great. It's only been out for a week, so I was super happy about that.
That's really cool. You have such a following now through the music, through everything you do, and I hope to catch you on the road when the time allows.
Thanks,
Rita
Matt.
Wilson, this was a pleasure.
Thank you.
My gosh, I cannot wait to keep up with you. Thank you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you, and thank you for having me.
So great to meet you. Do
Bye, all.
All right, Rita Wilson. That was a fun one. We talked about Little Black Dress. She had a song, A Man Called Otto. We couldn't really talk about Tom Hanks. That's kind of the rule when you talk to her about music, but
makes sense.
It was really cool. Obviously, Tom Hanks being in that film, her music being in that film. I love when people's different crafts can kind of combine and you create together as a partnership. It's really cool. It's really cool. So, and then of course our tradition is we always go to Country for a Cause, which benefits Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, and I had a chance to talk with some really, really cool people there. Alex Miller, we always check in with, Mackenzie Phipps. This year, Heath Wright of Ricochet was there. Here's one you might remember, a name, Leon Everett was there. Jeannie Pruitt, it was actually honoring Jeannie Pruitt, and somebody we've been wanting to talk to for a while, and the stars actually aligned. She got there a little early, we could talk to her. Ms. Jeannie Seeley was at Country for a Cause, came in, replaced Mo Bandy, who couldn't make it. It was a fantastic show. So it's a 5-hour show. It's a marathon. People come and go as they please, but it is so much fun. John Conley was there. Didn't get to talk to him. I talked to him in Huntsville a couple years ago. Right. But when I saw him in Huntsville, he didn't do rose-colored glasses. He did rose-colored glasses at Country for a Cause, and this is how dedicated these people are. These little aviators that are rose-colored, they went for $1,000.
Wow.
He auctioned them off from the stage.
I hear you also got to chat with some friends of ours who we love as equally as they tend to love us.
Oh, they were loving up on me. It was hugs and just so cool to catch up. We talked with them when their album came out, Glory Days. Yeah. And they said, we'll catch up and tell you how we're liking it once the album's out and what we think of the reception. So I got just a few minutes with our besties, Chapel Hart. Take a look. Oh my gosh, as you can see, we're not in our regular booth because our booth is not big enough to hold all of this talent. Chapel Hart, how are you, ladies? Oh my gosh.
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. So we talked over Zoom when the album Glory Days was coming out.
Yes.
How has the response been?
It's been insane in the best ways possible. We have gotten so many reviews and our fans just telling us how much it reminds them of them growing up, and it reminds them of their glory days, and they realize that they're reliving glory days, and it's all the things, and it's been amazing, and I'm so happy that people are enjoying it.
Yes.
And I think the cherry on top of that, this week during CMA Fest, we performed 3 songs off of the album, 3 songs that we hadn't really performed at the Opry, and got standing ovations, and folks loved it. And if they like it at the Opry, it's kind of like a stamp of approval.
Like it in real life.
So when you think back, I know we talked about this a little bit over Zoom, but I'm like about to cry because when we think about 3 years ago,
At the little coffee shop.
at the Music Valley Coffee Shop to now, all the red carpets, I see you everywhere. I mean, when you take that step back and look, what do you think?
Let me tell you what, it feels so amazing because it kind of feels like we're growing up together. Like we graduated, we're like both in college and we're just moving up. And but it feels so amazing, and I think it really shows the grind. And it feels good also to have folks that you can look back and they go, no, they've been working since. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it was like we were probably during COVID and we were like kind of like 6 feet apart at the table or whatever and all the things. But like it was just like we were all out there just grinding, and so that makes my heart so happy. I'm with you. Kind of feels like one of those drop a few tears moment, but it's been such an amazing ride.
I love it. We love you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Yes.
Chapel Hart, we had to stop and say them.
We love you, Music Universe.
Before we continue on here, I have to acknowledge where we are. Buddy, every time we come to Nashville, you are always insistent that we come down here to wonderful Lower Broadway.
Look at it. I mean, I know it's a tourist trap, they say, but look at it.
It's gorgeous.
It's where I got my start when I was here.
Ryman is literally right around the corner.
Yep.
Garth's bar is going to be right there where you see the scaffolding. And I think, and he owns the building, I think, next to it. That's going to be the police station.
Yeah.
And then the Ernest Tubb record shop, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's a landmark, so
It's
they can't.
reopened right now. So.
No, it's not.
It's not. I thought they reopened.
No, it's a shell inside.
Oh, wow.
It was down there. I was looking at it. It's Exit In that reopened.
Well, I thought they had reopened too. So
speaking of being down here in fantastic Lower Broadway, I had a chance to check out a really cool space. Twin Valley Ford partnered with Ryman Auditorium for the Ford VIP Lounge. Now, we're going to play some B-roll over you as I explain what you get. It's an extra $100. This isn't sponsored, by the way. They just invited us out, and I actually think it's really cool. It's an extra $100. You get entry when the doors open to this VIP lounge. You get a private bar, private bathroom, access to the lounge the entire show.
Wow.
So you can come down, sit. They'll play the show on the screen with the live feed to the speakers. So if it's getting too rowdy for you, you can come down, you can get another drink. So it's not like, I go to so many things, and the VIP experience is, okay, the VIP experience is before the show, and then you're ushered to your seats with your special merch or whatever. This lounge inside the Ryman, it's a gorgeous space. It's where the merch shop used to be, and then they doubled the size of their merch shop. And it's a beautiful space right off the lobby. You can come and take a look at it any chance that you want.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love the Ryman. It's such a special place.
Mm-hmm. We got some really special interviews coming up, but we caught up with so many people. We would be here all day long if we kind of came in and out of every single interview. So we're going to go back to our coverage of CMA Fest from the interviews we did in the Media Center. And I want to start this off with a really fun one. Brennley Brown. We'll play all the way through, and then we'll also talk to somebody we talked to, or didn't talk to, but saw at Stagecoach, Mr. Drake Milligan, and everybody in between. And then we got two more. Downtown Nashville, baby. And then we got two more afterwards that we'll close out with. So here's the rest of our interviews from the 50th anniversary of Fanfare and CMA Fest. So we are here with singer, voice actor, voice contestant, fringe wearer, recording artist, partner with Taylor Guitars. Yes. Oh my gosh. Brennley Brown, how are you?
I am well. Thank you for that kind introduction. Doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Well, clearly you're doing well. You've got so many projects in the works. And I got to know before we get to the music, how did you end up as an actor on with DreamWorks
for goodness.
Dragons?
Yes, it's such a crazy story. I was around 11 years old, and I grew up in California, and I was at this time playing a lot of open mic nights, and there was one open mic night in like the LA area, and I played it almost every Thursday night. And one random Thursday, a vocal contractor from Disney Animation was there, and came up to me after and asked, "Hey, do you do voiceover?" And honestly, I thought it was not real. I thought this person was not a real person that worked for Disney. But sure enough, she was, and she kind of just helped me get my start, and I started voicing different characters for Disney and DreamWorks and Nickelodeon, and it's been a huge blessing to be able to do that. I never thought I'd get into that, so I'm grateful.
So then I'll tell you, I went to college. He was the next room over for me, freshman year, with the singing voice for Pablo the Penguin on the Backyardigans.
You did not.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. I love the Backyardigans. That was one of my favorites growing up. I love that.
If you know him from that world, his name's Sean Curley.
Yes.
Have you met him?
I have not met him, but I've heard wonderful things about him.
He's a sweet guy.
Yes, I love that.
He's a sweet guy. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to the music. Lots of cool things. What all are you working on?
Oh, well, I'm working on an album right now, currently in the studio recording that. It's been, a process of writing the last couple of years, so feel just so excited to actually be bringing these songs to life in the studio and releasing some music in the fall. So coming up pretty quick and
very cool.
Grateful. Yeah, excited.
And you recently sort of broke through on the charts with your version of Long, Long Time.
Yes.
Linda Ronstadt song.
Yes, that's right.
Tell me about that and recording that and then it going really, really well.
It was wild. I grew up listening to a lot of 70s country music, hence
Right.
the fringe and the 70s vibes. But my dad introduced me to a lot of traditional 70s music, 70s country music growing up, and one that I loved was Linda Ronstadt and her voice and her songs, and so that was one of my favorites long time. So then to be able to kind of put my own spin on it was so fun, and then to see people respond in that way was crazy, and truly just grateful to have been able to record such a classic song, such a beautiful song, and then for people to be able to hear it, kind of with my voice and some newer, vocal just stylizations and stuff. So it was fun.
Awesome. You have you gone over to the Country Music Hall of Fame yet to see the Western Edge exhibit?
No,
she's
but I
featured.
have wanted to do that.
You need
Have
to go
you
do
gone
it.
over there?
No, I'm going to try to go. I'm here for
Let's
a
just
little
go.
longer. Yeah.
We got to do that.
Awesome.
We got to get that done.
Awesome. So, other than new music, what about road dates? What all are you doing?
Yes, playing a ton of festivals this summer. Super excited to be on the road. And again, too, it's like, you get in the studio and you record all these songs and you've been writing them, but then to play them live, that's like the best feeling ever. So excited just to play the new music for the fans and hear how they feel about it and their response, and excited.
Fans that came to know you through The Voice.
Yes.
And now Ms. Reba is going to be a judge.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
That's awesome. She's going to be a great judge.
So when they say they mentor people on The Voice and you go
Yeah.
through that process, how were you truly mentored, or were you kept separate from this, and it was only for the screen, or were you really
Sure. Yeah.
guided, and was your growth as an artist really guided on that program?
Yes. So I think the further as you go on the show, the more time, that you spend with your coach, and, and then you grow in that relationship as well. And so for me, making it to the finals, by the end, I was having a lot of time with Gwen and being able to kind of hear her wisdom. But yeah, you're coached throughout the whole thing, and there is a whole team, that surrounds The Voice. I mean, there's vocal coaches, there's, choreographers at some levels, there's all of the team there. And so it's all everybody kind of working together. But the mentorship that I received from Blake and Gwen was truly awesome, and things that I'll always just have in my heart, with me as an artist throughout my journey, that have stayed with me for sure.
I'm so glad Mr. Stefani popped in there too.
Yes, he did. He sure did. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Seems like it's such a fun time. Well, Brennley Brown, before we let you go, I got to ask you about your name.
Yeah.
Family name, family situation, Brennley.
So it's kind of a funny story. So
Yeah.
my name was going to be Rhiannon, actually.
Really?
Up until, it was on the baby shower flyer and everything. And my mom was about to deliver me, and the nurse was not super nice. If you're out there, sorry if you're out there, but she wasn't very nice. And her name was Rhiannon. And my mom at that point was like, oh, no, we're not naming up my kid, Rhiannon. And so babynames.com, you guys. And when I was born...
You're not serious.
No, I'm serious. And when I was born in 2002, and so, the internet was really like a big thing and getting more popular. And so babynames.com, they found Brennley, and then my last name is Brown. So that's my real name.
And I'm sure you get this a lot, I keep wanting to say Brene Brown.
Yes.
But that's someone else.
Yes. That's
Totally different industry.
Yes, totally different industry. But I get that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I also get friendly all the time, too. All the time.
Well,
but,
you are friendly, so.
Hey, thank you.
But
Thank you.
I'll be here all afternoon.
Yes. I love
Brennley
it.
Brown, this was a pleasure. I could talk to you all afternoon. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. All right, we are here with Boomtown Saints. How are you, gentlemen? Good to see
excellent.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. My gosh, CMA Fest debut this year. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
We're still on a kind of an adrenaline high right now. We can't even explain it.
Oh my gosh. Did you perform already yet, or do you perform later?
Did.
Okay,
we
cool.
did.
How'd it go?
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. We had such a good time.
Tell about it.
Well, all right. So we've been waiting 5 years to come out and do this.
Right.
And so when you're getting ready for this, you're like, okay, it's going to be CMA Fest. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Then you look out in the crowd. And for us, one of our biggest inspirations is our kids.
Yeah.
Okay, our wives, our kids, and we got to see them in the crowd, just shouting every word of every song we had. It was the most amazing feeling in the world. So we're still kind of on that high right now.
That's beautiful. That is fantastic. Another one of those songs, Blacktop Don't, is your new single. Tell us about that, just released.
Absolutely. So when we first heard the song, what was it, Chris, about
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. So I was sick. He was sitting there. We had our producer, our manager, everybody in there. And we finally heard this song, and I about jumped through the screen of this phone, and I was like, hey, we got to have this song. It is, what did I always say, Chris? What was
Me, what I always say?
What? No. Was it you? Okay.
It was me. It's the audio. It's the audio description or an audio. It represents through audio what you get with our live show.
That's awesome. And what do you get with the live show?
You get this guy jumping off of everything you can possibly think of, acting like, okay, so my vertical is 2 stacked quarters. I get about right here.
Yeah.
And I'll look over and left I'm like, okay, where's Chris? Oh yeah, he's out there. That's exactly what our show is. It's high energy, and that's about as best I can explain it.
That's awesome. I know that you guys both were doing different things. One of you was going to medical school, the other an executive pharmaceuticals. Why the U-turn?
Why the U-turn? Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I can tell you the U-turn was because of this guy right here. Oh. For me, I was a solo artist. I met him, 5 years ago? 5 years ago now? 5.5. And I was a solo artist. I was about to be done with music. I told him in December of 2018 I was done. He came on. He added so much more to the show than what I could have ever done by myself. Mm-hmm. And so one thing led to the next, and about 2.5 years ago, it really got serious, and now.
Fantastic. We going to get a full album anytime soon?
Sure.
Absolutely. Coming this fall. Awesome. We're going to have our full album. Our EP is coming out June 29th.
Yes,
June 30th.
June 30th. Okay.
I love this dynamic. He doesn't say anything until he needs to correct you.
Usually it's him doing all the talking.
No, this is great. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Boomtown Saints, lots of stuff to look out for. You've been everywhere, and it's just blowing up for you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having us, man. Thank you for having us again. We appreciate you having us on the first time.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Well, I am here being, looking like an Oompa Loompa because these very tall gentlemen are the War Hippies. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
We're great. I'm great. So I wanted to say, how are you enjoying CMA Fest this year?
Well, we just got here, so we'll find out here in a little bit.
Oh, cool. Where you performing?
The Hard Rock stage.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, today at 2:15.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Awesome.
Right in the good heat of the day.
Yeah.
So both of you are veterans. How was being, and first of all, thank you for your service. How was being in the military informed your music?
Well, I was a musician prior to the military. I actually was on a full ride scholarship to college for the violin, and when the towers went down, I gave that up. And the combat for one's $1 million experience. You wouldn't pay $1 for it, but I tell you, it made me a better listener and definitely a better writer, for sure.
Yeah, agree with that last statement 100%. I think that just as being songwriters, that it's just that being a part of our life, and I think that there's when you are in combat, you have a different way of seeing the world and life in general, and I think that gets added into the music.
So that's wonderfully insightful. So what's been going on musically with you guys? What's new? What's coming up?
Well, we've got our album out. Our debut album, War Hippies. We just had our video for the Hangman. We just got a telly for that, and I think we're working on our next single, "Make It Out Alive," right now, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna put out "Make It Out Alive," which is a song wrote based off of an experience in Iraq of making a promise to God, saying, "If I get out of here alive, I'm gonna be the best man I possibly can." We're shooting a video for that, and hopefully that'll be out in a couple months.
Yeah. You guys like making music videos?
Oh yeah. Well, he likes it better than I do, for sure.
He's the producer.
Yeah, I'm the music guy.
But we do everything ourselves. So we produce all the music ourselves. We produce and direct all the and shoot all the videos ourselves. I love it.
Fantastic. What about road dates? Where can people see you this year?
Warhippies.com.
Great.
And that'll lead you everywhere that you need to go.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys do next. You are skyrocketing. You guys are everywhere. Thank you so much, War Hippies. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Ian Munsick, welcome back to the Music Universe.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. We did a written article from our last interview because couldn't get the audio to work, but we wanted to get a video out there. You're just amazing. You're so down to earth.
Thank you.
You tell me before we got started, this is your first CMA Fest.
Yep, it is, man. Yep, first one.
How does it feel to be here?
Man, it's great, dude. It's this is one of the most legendary events in country music, man. So to be just a small part of it is a privilege.
Very cool, very cool. So where are you performing this week?
Man, we performed at the Riverfront stage yesterday. We're playing the Spotify House today, and then we're playing Nissan Stadium tomorrow. So
You know, at the Spotify House, you got to follow Reba.
I know that's going to be a tough act to follow, man. So we'll see how it goes, man. But just being able to be on the same stage as her is going to be awesome.
You excited for that stadium of 50,000 people?
Oh yeah, it'll be incredible, man. And it's just me and my fiddle player, so it'll be extra special.
What songs are you doing?
We're going to do Barn Burner and Long Live Cowgirls.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So what else? I know you're on the road. We talked about that last time. What else has been going on since Stagecoach?
Well, shoot, dude, just more of the road, man. I think after Stagecoach, we hit the Rocky Mountains, played our first sold-out arena in Montana, and then got to play in Wyoming and then Colorado, and then came back to Nashville and played a sold-out Ryman show, which was really cool, man.
Sells Out the Ryman is an arena act already. I mean, did you expect it all to happen this quickly?
No, man. You know, I'm just glad to be playing music, let alone have all those people listen to my music, man. So it's just incredible, and every step of the way I feel like we've earned it, but I also feel very, very blessed to be where I'm at.
It's really cool. Really cool. Still call Wyoming home?
Yes, I do. So when I say home, I say Wyoming, but we do live in Nashville now, but we're going back to Wyoming very, very soon. Whenever we can, we're going home.
What does it mean to you that the fans in sort of the really rural center of the country, the Wyomings, the Montanas, those states, you know, the Dakotas, have really, in particular, taken a liking to this music?
Man, that's really who I write music for, are those people, because I am those kind of people, you know. So writing my truth is also their truth, and I think that people from other places can hear them in there too, because no matter where you go in the country, you could be in New York State or you could be in California, there is still a lot of rural, small town people there. So, man, that's why country music is just so special, because country is everywhere.
Fantastic, fantastic. I cannot wait to see you tonight at Nissan, and I cannot wait for what you do next.
Thank you.
Munsick, thank you for taking the time to chat with us again.
Yes, sir.
Jake Worthington, welcome to the Music Universe. How are you, sir?
Brother, I'm doing great. Thanks you for having me.
Well, it's great to be talking with you. I got to say, I was listening to your album on the way back from Nissan Stadium last night. Really good, hard, traditional country music. Thank you for that.
Brother, thank you.
Who inspires you?
The people in my life. I think songwriters and musicians in general are a little sensitive to their surroundings.
Yeah.
You know, but I look up to my dad. You know, my old man. And
who inspires you musically with that traditional sound? Who
man, it's hard to put. You know, I really love the Merle Haggard music and the George Jones music and the Mark Chestnuts and the John Andersons and George Strait and country music is what inspires me. All music, real music.
Awesome. So this is your first CMA Fest. Tell me, what are you most excited about?
Man, I'm happy to be here. We had a heck of a start to this week. This week, we got to play at the Ryman twice.
Wow.
And I can't believe that happened on its own. So the rest of this is just just icing on top, man.
That's awesome. So you got the album out, got a couple of singles. What's next in terms of touring? What are your dates?
Hey, we're working every week.
Good.
No need for change there. We're glad to have the work.
Fantastic. Speaking of work, I assume you're always writing, always recording. What else? Anything coming up soon?
You know what? I don't know anything that I'm allowed to talk about, but we still just released that album in April, and I just think it's just time will tell, But the songs are still getting wrote, and I'd like to think we'd get back in the studio at some point this year, and it's a dream to get to work with them guys.
Fantastic. Well, Jake, where are you performing this week?
We are performing at the Whiskey Jam at the Whiskey Row tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Awesome.
Be there.
All right. Jake Worthington, a pleasure. Thank you. This was fun.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, we are here, CMA Fest Day 1. I'm here with Callista Clark. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so excited. CMA 50 years of fanfare. What are you most excited about this week?
I am so excited to see all the fans. They have come from all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I've already met people at the Roper booth from Germany that I saw when I was on tour with Brett Young, people from London. I mean, it's so incredible. There's just nothing like CMA Fest. I'm so excited.
No, there really isn't. So where are you performing this week?
I'm going to be at the Bluebird tomorrow night,
wow.
the Listening Room Saturday, a big machine round with some of my label peeps.
Awesome.
And then the Dr. Pepper Amp stage on Sunday. It's going to be so fun.
Speaking of labels, what's new with you, with your music? What are you working on? What's coming?
Yeah, I'm writing a lot this year, which is so fun, being creative for the first time in a while. And I'm loving it. This is what I love to do, is write songs. So It's going to be great.
So is there anyone, because it is the 50th, where we all go to Nissan at night, is there anyone you're excited to see either at Nissan or at some of the other stages here?
Oh, Lainey Wilson, Carly Pierce, Luke Combs, Jan Shea. I mean, come on.
Everybody.
Just start naming all the names. They're all so talented.
And what I love about this year is 90s country is kind of getting a little bit of acknowledgement. Tanya Tucker is doing one night at Nissan. We got Jody Messina another night. Lots of big names this year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a bad stage to go to, a bad hour to go to, no bad artists to see. I mean, it's so great.
So what about live? Where can people go and see you? Are you on the road?
I am doing a lot of festivals. Been super excited for this. Been counting down the days. And I got a bunch of things coming up in Alabama. One next week in California with Tenille Arts.
Oh, very cool.
Actually, a hometown show.
Oh, awesome.
In like a week or two, which will be so much fun.
Do those make you nervous?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and stop you there. Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know why. Whenever I'm in front of family or friends that I guess, know the more personal me, it's very different. It makes me very nervous.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I can't wait. I'm going to try to catch you on the AMP stage. So thank you very much, Callista. This was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Travis did. No. I wear a mic. You
okay.
You hold back.
Okay, perfect.
Every artist does.
I'm right here with you.
No, every artist. This is country music. Every artist is so willing to help. They're like, oh, you need the mic back. You need me to hold it. No, I'm wearing the thing. That's for you to hold.
All right.
Travis
that makes a lot more sense now, actually. I was like, well, that's fine. We can do that.
Travis Denning, CMA Fest, 50th anniversary. How are you? How excited are you to be here?
I'm doing great, man. Everything's good. We played our 2 shows yesterday, and it's just hectic as always. But it's not nearly as hot.
That is rolling. I did. Okay, good. Yep. There's a red light. Triple making sure.
Yeah. It's not as hot as it was last year, so it's good.
Good. I have to tell you a story. You are the reason I keep a list now of every person, because I go see 7,500 shows a year, of every single person that I go see, because you popped a couple years after I saw you open in New York City for Landco. And I'm like, Travis Denning, didn't I see him? Yes, I did. So you've come so far since I've seen you. How has the journey been?
It's been great. I'm still friends with the Landco guys, unfortunately. Yep. But No, Tripp is one of my best friends. He was actually a groomsman in my wedding. But man, it's been great, man. We barring 2020 and stuff, it's just been a fun climb. It's been a fun group of songs over the couple of EPs we've put out, and it's been a lot of fun to play them on the road. And yeah,
Talk about a fun climb, and you talk about 2020. Because of where you were in your career at that point, was that a particularly sort of difficult place to sort of have to hit pause as you were climbing?
Oh, I think it could not have been the worst place to hit pause. It was so weird because obviously we were off the road, and that was supposed to be my first big tour. We were supposed to go out with Sam Hunt that summer, but at the same time, After a Few was climbing the charts, and it hit number one during the pandemic. So it was a weird feeling of like, well, some things are still kind of popping off and moving yet. The whole performing live and stuff, was weird for it to take a pause, but we just went through it and made the best of it.
So what's going on with you musically? What's new, and where can people see you?
Yeah, I've been essentially cutting an album. I've cut 10 songs this year. I'm probably going to cut a few more in July. Just putting out music here and there. I've got a lot of shows this summer playing fairs and festivals. Like we'll be at Watershed and things of that nature. And yeah, I'm really excited. We got a new song coming out in about 2 weeks that I think is one of the best story songs that I've recorded. And, man, I'm just excited, man. Just staying busy. That's all I care about.
It's really good. Yeah, I saw on Apple Music a lot of EPs, but no full album yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I haven't done the full record yet, and for no real reason. I've always enjoyed putting out a little bit at a time, but I don't know, man. I kind of just blinked, and I was like, oh, man, we've cut 10 songs, and we got 4 or 5 more we want to cut. And I was like, I think it's going to be time to turn one in. So
I love it. You're wearing Chris Stapleton today.
Absolutely.
I always ask, who are you wearing sometimes? And today, literally, you are wearing
I'm
Chris
wearing
Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
That's really cool. Why? Influence on your music? What made you choose this for your media today?
Honestly, I had a shirt earlier that said the S word on it, so that made me change. That's actually the total truth. But I was at the UMG booth, and I saw this shirt, and I love Chris Stapleton, so went with that.
That's really cool. Really cool. Well, before I let you go, we have to ask this. Of course, you are now a member of the extended Montgomery family.
Yep.
And I have to know, Eddie, John, that whole family, have they been a big influence on your writing at all?
I would say some of those Montgomery Gentry songs, man, like Gone and Hell Yeah, I think that kind of showed me like, oh, you can really rock up the songs, and that was kind of an affirming thing coming up, knowing that you could do that. So definitely for sure. And JMM, had some of the biggest hits in the 90s. Hard not to be influenced by it.
Of course. Travis, all the best. I hope I will be catching you on the road soon, I'm sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
We are here with Emily Ann Roberts at CMA Fest. Oh my gosh, how excited are you for this week?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. It's an honor to be a part of CMA Fest, and it's something I look forward to every year.
Yeah, you came up here, you were beaming. I could tell you're having so much fun.
Oh, I am. I got to perform this morning at the Hard Rock stage, and so that was so much fun. And I guess I am beaming because I had so many folks out in the audience singing along to my songs, and there's nothing better than that for an artist and a songwriter, to see other folks singing along to your music.
It feels like all the hard work's paying off, right?
It does a little bit, absolutely.
So, where are you from? I noticed the accent. Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee originally.
Oh my gosh.
So East Tennessee, and I'm so thankful that I was able to grow up there. I grew up on a lot of mountain music and Appalachian sound, and a lot of people tell me once they learn where I'm from, they're like, oh yeah, we hear the East Tennessee in your voice. So I'm thankful that I carry it with me everywhere I go.
Well, that was the next question. How did growing up in such an area rich with country music and musical tradition influence your own sound?
Goodness, it influenced me a ton. I wouldn't be the artist I am without it. And a lot of my music, if you listen to it, has a bunch of the traditional sound that I was raised on. And that mountain music that I love so much, I sprinkle that into every single song I do and try to make it mine, and add that little Appalachian flair to it. So it definitely shaped me as a songwriter and an artist, and I hope that people hear that when they listen to my music.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So take us through what you're working on. New music, what's coming out, what have you just released? I've been so busy prepping, I have not drilled down on a lot of different people. I'm like, just come on, I'll ask and let them tell us in our own words.
Everybody's been busy, it feels like, but we have been very busy. So I just released a brand new single called Infinity, and I'm really fired up about it. It's a song that I wrote a couple years ago about my husband, and we were just dating at the time. But
wait a minute, you look like you're 17. How are you married?
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take 17.
That's because I'm midlife crisis Caillou, so, you know, it's just, it's what
I love it. No, that's fine. My husband's as bald as he can be, all right? So, but anyways, I wrote this song with Stephanie Chapman years ago, and I was just dating my husband, Chris, at the time, and, you know, she asked me, is he the one? And everybody wants to ask, and I said, yeah, he is the one. And she said, well, how do you know? And I said, because forever doesn't seem like long enough. Even if we get forever to love each other, it won't be long enough. And so that's how Infinity was born. And the song is basically just a love letter to him saying, goodness, why can't we just have infinity? Forever isn't long enough to love you. I got to have eternity with you. So anyways, well, I think he thinks so too. At least I hope. So that's a really fun one to have out in the world.
I think you talk about guys and girls in music. You hear a lot of times the men write the romantic songs for the women, and, you know, they come out and it's a love song. It's very rare, at least it's very rare to have a woman write a romantic song for a man, or at least talk about it. So I think that's really unique.
Oh, well,
really cool.
I'm a stand by your man girl. That's the kind of stuff that I grew up on, and I love being able to talk as good as I can about him because he is the biggest blessing to me.
Wow. And I'm sure the music is a big blessing to you, too. Where can people see you on the road this year?
Yes, I'm going to be all over. So all my dates are on my website, emilyannroberts.com. We're playing all kinds of fairs and festivals. I'm actually going to Norway this year. So when I say we're going all over, I mean it. We're going all over. Wow. So check out my tour dates on my website, emilyannroberts.com. They're also on my social media. And I would love to see everybody out at a live show because that is where I have the most fun.
Before I let you go, I have to ask about Norway. Were you surprised when hey, you're big in Norway?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I released a song called Whole Lotta Little that went viral on TikTok, and it opened up a lot of doors for me. And when I look on where people are listening, Oslo is my top 2 city that people are listening, like in the whole world. It's my top 2, which is crazy. I know, I would have thought like Tennessee, but no, Oslo, Norway. So we have quite a bit of fans and listeners over there, so we're excited to finally get to go over and meet them in person and put on a show for them.
I love it. Emily Ann Roberts, this was a pleasure.
Oh, it was so fun.
Thank you very much. And I know you performed at the Hard Rock stage today, but just so I could try to come catch you, are you anywhere else this week?
Yes, I'm going to be at Barlines at 11 a.m. doing a songwriter round there at the Omni Hotel on Saturday.
Very cool. I'll try to catch it. Emily, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good talking with you.
Great. Well, Kid G, welcome to the Music Universe. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you, buddy?
Good. Is this your first CMA Fest?
No, sir. This is my 2nd year.
Oh, my gosh. Were you here last year?
Yes, sir. It was a blast.
It was my first CMA Fest, too, last year. That's awesome. But you've had some pretty big milestones in the streaming world.
Yes,
New York Times Best Album in 2021. Talk about that.
Man, it's awesome. New York Times has helped me out a lot during this journey. It took a while to make those songs, and I'm glad it got the credit it deserved in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, very cool. 500 and several million streams, featured in Billboard's 21 Under 21. I mean, what was the moment that it all started taking off for you?
Man, I still don't remember. I feel like the wheels are still taking off the ground. It feels like I think I had to be about 16 years old, yes, sir, and it hit me like a train.
So, where are you performing this week?
Tonight, or this afternoon at 4:15, I'm performing at the Dr. Pepper stage, yes, sir. And then tomorrow I go to Bristol, Tennessee to start my tour back.
Oh, very cool. Yes, very, very cool. Where are all you hitting on the road?
Man, pretty much everywhere. I know we're going to all over the place, L.A., Canada. I mean, it's all over.
And how lucky are you that this has been your job since you were 16 years old?
Dude, I'm super blessed. I don't think it's luck. I feel like God just had a plan for me, and I'm trying to fulfill that plan.
Well, certainly, and I can tell you're very humble, raised right.
I'm trying my best.
Where are you from?
I'm from Columbus, Georgia.
Oh, wow. Lots of southern accents this week, so that's why I'm asking. Gotta get the regions down. So what are you working on with regard to new music?
We just actually dropped a new single a couple weeks ago. It's called Daylight Savings, and now we're about to drop another single June 23rd, and the song's name is Lesson Learned.
Very cool.
Yes, sir.
What's it about?
Lesson Learned is about a relationship I had back in the day. I say back in the day, but it was back in high school.
Back in the day, he's younger than me.
It was back in high school, and I had this girl. You know, when you get that first girl you get in a relationship with, my fault, you just tell everybody, like, Mom, this one, I love her, blah, 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 blah. We dated for a couple of years, but as we got older, life threw a couple curveballs at us, and we ended up splitting apart. And there's no hate, it's wish you well, but it's just another lesson learned.
Right.
Yes,
Beautiful.
sir.
Beautiful sentiment. Well, Kid G, lots of luck on the road, lots of luck this week at CMA Fest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This was fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Pillbox Patti, talk about creating that stage persona of Pillbox Patti, that name, and going with it as your stage name.
Pillbox Patti is me. I wrote a song called Pillbox Patti in the middle of the night one night a few years ago, and I knew when I did that I was going to use that as my artist name and kind of tuck that away. But it's nice when it's a hat I can take off, but it's all me. It's just kind of had to change my name to be myself. I'd written myself into a corner there for a minute. So
I love it. Well, and one of the other things, of course, Lindaville is a big album right now.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about getting asked to how you came to the project and your reaction to how wonderfully it's been received.
Ashley asked me to put these people together because I put people together for retreats, writing for her other records, and I picked all my favorite people, and I found a weird house, and we got really weird in that house for 4 days and made this record that we didn't know if anybody was even going to care about or even let us record. So, it was really like stepping in an alternate universe. So we did that, and then they let us make it, and then not only did they let us make it, they nominated it for a Grammy and for ACMs and all the things, so it's been kind of crazy.
It's amazing. You talk about get weird, that photo shoot of Lindaville. I love the promo photos of that. Did that happen in that house as well?
No, that was, actually we did that the same day we shot a Bonfire Tina's video, so it was in a weird, hot field with a weird little house next to it, so cool. Katie Koss did that photo.
So I know you're always writing, always creating. What are you working on now?
I'm working on a lot of new music, but I have Florida Deluxe coming out at the end of the year. So my first single off of that is Low Life, which comes out 6/16, which is next Friday. So I'm really excited about that.
Very, very cool. 6/16. Sounds like it's 2 days before my birthday, so that's a good.
Ooh, I like it.
What about being on the road? You on the road?
Oh yeah, I'm on the road a lot, and I love it. That's my favorite thing. So I like getting out of town and seeing the reaction and like working really hard to like win people over every time. And
Pillbox Patti does not have to work hard to win people over.
Sure I do. Not when you're hanging out with me. But I like it. I like people. It's music that they haven't heard yet, and I find my people, and there's always little pockets of it singing along, and so I aim to get everybody.
Well, that's the great thing about social media is you can release a snippet of something, and your fans will pick it up and carry it with them to the live shows.
I know, and I'm always surprised by how many are there and on random shows in random towns, and I'm like, my people.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, where are you performing this week?
I'm doing Maui Gym stage today at 2:55, and then I have a fan after party at the Little Chill Beach, and then I'm going to do a lot of little chilling and watching my friends. So
sounds like a great schedule. Pillbox Patti, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This was fun. We are here with Bryan Martin. I got a little bit of a different setup because I made him get his guitar out. We have a rule here at the Music Universe booth. You don't show up with a guitar and not get it out to play. So we'll play in a little bit. But Bryan Martin, how are you?
Man, doing good. First time here at CMA Fest. I'm glad to be doing this interview, brother.
Well, it's good to have you. I want to ask, it's your first CMA Fest. What are you most excited to do this week?
Man, to be honest with you, just to be able to be here and be a part of this and to get my music out there. And after all these years of building this career and making things happen and knowing that I'm even on this level to be here is amazing to me. So every little step is just another accomplishment that I'm just as happy for.
It's really awesome. That's really cool. I was looking while I was having lunch. While I was having lunch, I was preparing for this interview, and I was looking at your tour schedule. You're touring to a lot of rural towns, a lot of cool rural venues. Talk about playing those really unique places.
Man, I think it's just more or less just amazing to go out there to these different places and to see people that relate to the music. They wear the scars. They've been out there working and doing the things that I've been doing for the last 15 years, just going out and making a living for your family. And when they show up to a show and they can sing all the songs back to you and you know that I've lived every lyric with you, it just makes it that much more a blessing.
Very cool. I love that. Lived every lyric.
Lived every lyric. Yes.
That's beautiful. So what music are you working on right now?
Well, I got a new song coming out called Going for Broke. And it's just more or less just talking about that same mentality. You just wake up every day and put in the work and don't let nobody put a time period on you or tell you what you can't do, and get up and make it happen just like you swing a hammer, swing a guitar,
Yeah, absolutely. And you are on one of the most supportive, coolest, smaller labels out there, Average Joe's.
Average Joe's.
Really cool. We've talked with several Average Joe's artists, and how awesome they think it is to be in such a supportive environment.
Well, I mean, I think it's more or less just the name in itself, man. Average Joe's and the way that they came up and the way that they started their label, it's a testament in itself. And I think that's what drew me to them a long time ago. Just like listening to their music and knowing that they were going against the grain. And I think that being able to go against that grain and still stand out and still make a name in a town that sometimes gets a little bit too in a box. And I think to be outside that box and still be making a name, especially in 2023, nowadays with it becoming a popular deal, to be different. So
that's beautiful. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm seeing this hat, this road-worn hat. Looks like, I would assume by the fact that you're still wearing it, that it's a very important hat to you.
Yes, sir. Well, this was based off of so a friend of mine, Doolin Banjos, hat company. They approached me and they said, "Hey, we want to make you a hat." And I said, "Well, it's got to be beat up. It's got to be worn down. It's got to have all the characteristics that I have, because I won't look good in a pretty hat just because I've been beat up. I've been worn down. The roads wore me down. The rigs in West Texas and working out there in the oil field has worn me down." And I told him the story about my uncle. My uncle was Caddo, and I'm Cherokee. And I told him the story about the Diamondback and the Red-tailed Hawk. And I said, it's hard to tell who wins or loses in those battles between the Diamondback and the Red-tailed Hawk, because by the time that Hawk gets a hold of it and the Diamondback strikes it, and by the time that Hawk has that Diamondback choked out, he don't realize he's done been bit by the rattlesnake. So it's always been one of those deals where, this life can be the same way. You don't ever know which one's got the upper hand. You just got to kind of give it all you got, and that's why he based it off of this hat. He put some of the lyrics off my song, "Far from a Saint, Just Shy a Disciple," and I think that it's just one of those deals where it says, I've never been perfect, but in a way, I'm a lot like a disciple. I was chose to go through the hard parts of life and then go out there and write it down in poetry and sing it in songs, and hope that somebody who's going through those hard times in life don't have to go through all the hard times in life to hear the message in a song.
Well, it makes me want to hear you play. What do you want to play for us?
Man, I'll play you one. It's called Poets and Old Souls. It's off the new album. Or I'll tell you what, I'll play the new one.
Okay.
I'll give you an exclusive. This is the first time I play this one. This one comes out on June the 16th. It's called Going for Broke.
Awesome. We'll hold the mic here. It'll pick that up.
There's a train headed west with a guitar and a chest full of songs that ain't been sung. There's a heart that needs some rest and a soul that's done its best to find where the leaving goes before it's gone. No, I ain't found no peace yet. Chasing down a sunset, looking for no piece of gold. Yeah, I'm tired of watching y'all eat. I'ma get my seat without losing my soul. I'm going for broke, hush, hush, get some sleep. Close those eyes, no, don't you worry. Don't pay no mind, I'ma sneak right in like a thief in the night and only take what's sold. I'm going for broke. I don't want to interrupt too many of the interviews. Oh yeah, I know. If I got real loud, it would get real crazy. But yeah, I don't want to interrupt too many of the
that's
rooms.
beautiful.
But that's a new song coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. It's on June 16th.
Fantastic. Bryan Martin, a pleasure. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Y'all hear it full volume.
Yeah.
Coming out June 16th.
Alex Hall, welcome back to the Music Universe. How are you?
Yes, doing well. How are you?
I'm great. How have you been?
Doing fantastic. It's been a good year since, I guess, a year last year, yeah.
Gonna try to remember, was last year your first CMA Fest?
My first, official CMA Fest. I've definitely done, a pop-in Broadway show when I was, 15 or 16 or something,
Right.
but first official one was last year, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So now how does that compare to, you know what to expect, you're back, but you're back on the big anniversary, the 50th
Yes.
anniversary.
I feel like the interview side of it, I'm definitely more prepared for. The signing booth stuff, I'm more prepared for this year. Last year, again, I had no idea what to expect. But I think it's just like another show. It's just like another event, and you just get to see a lot of your friends and stuff, and meet a lot of new people, and it's fun. It's good. I'm happy to be here.
So what's been going on with you musically since you've been here? New music?
Lots of new music.
Yes.
Yeah. So just been touring a lot with my friend Caitlin Smith. We've been on tour, and we toured a lot in Europe last year too, which was fun. But been working on my debut record, which is very exciting. And been releasing songs. So we've put out a song called Side Effects of the Heart, which is the title track to the record. And then we just put out a song called Women and Horses with my friend Brennley Clark on it, which is amazing. And then we have a few more singles coming, and then the record comes out in September. So.
Cool. Road dates? Are you on the road with anybody, headlining yourself?
Just finished up, like I said, the Caitlin Smith tour, which was a blast. And then we're working on some dates for myself, and then there'll definitely be some more touring going on this year, but nothing to announce at the moment.
Awesome. And you're performing today, right?
A little bit. I'm doing a private show, or I think it's a private show with my friend Tennille Towns. We're doing a Tennille and Friends thing, and then my actual CMA Fest show is tomorrow on Sunday.
Cool.
So I don't know when this is airing, but it's Sunday when I'm playing.
Very cool. Very cool. So, do you live here in Nashville? Are you
I do.
now?
Yes,
Awesome.
I've lived here for about 9 years.
Awesome.
So it's home.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is the hometown show, the hometown festival.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good to do all of this stuff and then go sleep in your bed and not a hotel room or drive a few hours in a van or something.
Really, see, even if I lived here, especially if I lived Brentwood or somewhere, I'd want to get a hotel for this because it's just nuts.
To be honest, I thought about that last night. My wife came down and we took my son and to the Ascend show last night to see Tennille and Cadillac 3 and those folks, and it was amazing. We had so much fun, but then you have to sit in the traffic and find your car and then drive home and all the above, and we were like, a hotel would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
So, well, Alex Hall, lots of big things going on, lots of big things in the future. Cannot wait. You'll have to come back for a longer interview when the album comes out.
Let's do it. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Chrissy Metz, welcome to the Music Universe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How excited are you to be at CMA Fest?
Oh, I love it. I mean, as a fan of music and also as a performer, singer, songwriter, it's I love it.
I love it. And I love CMA Fest is also such a great home for Christian music.
Yeah.
Country and Christian music kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So you have a new children's book and a children's album.
We do.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, the book is When I Talk to God, I Talk About You, and the album is Prayed for This Day.
Mm-hmm.
And it really started out as a song, a lullaby song for and then it just turned into an album. We're like, wow, okay, 11 songs out and let's go. So it's just been really lovely. We worked with Phil Barton and Liz Rose and just wrote some really beautiful, inspirational songs from the book. Mm-hmm. About learning to be brave, that you're loved no matter what. So yeah, it's been really wonderful.
What made you want to do a project that was children's focused? I know you used to be a teacher, right?
Yes, I taught preschool. I have a big family, and I just think that as cheesy as it sounds, kids really are the future, and we have to treat the soil, and I think we do that with obviously books and music and bolstering their self-confidence and their self-esteem. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you're performing
Yes, tomorrow at the Dr. Pepper stage.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what can fans expect coming to see you?
Yeah, some new songs that nobody's heard, songs that are not put out yet, new
great.
songs, and then some songs that, of course, are out on all the DSPs. Digital service providers, streaming services.
We just call them streaming services.
Yeah, streaming services. Yeah, so a good time and a really fun set.
Fantastic. So working on new songs, playing stuff you haven't released. Is there maybe a new EP, new album in the works?
Yes, I'm hoping. Yes, fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Chrissy Metz, I can't wait to catch your set. Thank you so much. This was
Good
fun.
to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you. Jenna Paulette, how are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm so excited. CMA Fest, the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Where are you performing this week?
I'm performing in like 30 minutes on the CMA Spotlight stage, and yesterday on the Whiskey Jam by Mapco, Future of the Fest.
Awesome. And I know that you just announced, I want to make sure I get this right. I got to open the talking points here. You just announced your partnership with Justin Boots. Yes. Jenna and Justin. I like that.
Jenna and Justin. Yes, I love that too. It's a dream come true for me. I did my first kind of visit with them because we just align on so many things that we care about, the cowboy, agriculture, rodeo, all of it. And they're, two artists that they partner with are George Strait and Reba McEntire. So that was just wild to me that I get to be on a very short list of artists that they feel like align with their goals.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What specifically, creatively, what are some of the pieces going to be?
Yes, so I think it's going to be a lot of partnering on shows and merchandise and stuff like that, and then hopefully at some point maybe a boot line, maybe a clothing line that I already have dreamed up.
You have such a wonderful fashion sense.
Thank you.
And I never like to get the women in country music up here and go, who are you wearing? I'm not that kind of person. But when you were on the red carpet, you were wearing this amazing brown blazer. You're dressed for a wedding that you run into right afterwards. I think it's a perfect thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And you're celebrating your album release
yes.
earlier this spring. The Girl I Was.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that song and the album, that song made sense of a lot of things for me. One being that it just encompasses what my whole goal is in country music, and that has always been to keep one foot on the ranch and one foot in the music industry. And I've lived here for 8 years in Nashville, and now I'm getting more and more to be able to be back working cattle, keeping that one foot on the ranch and keeping my place here and touring all over the place and all of that stuff. And that song really is just about getting back to that girl and remembering her and keeping her kind of at the forefront of my mind. And then the work underneath it is just everything represents the men and women that I came from and my story and my family.
Awesome. I'm going to say a sentence that's going to, you'll know what it means. It's going to take them a second. Barney the dinosaur is a big fan of yours. Carrie Stinson is a dear friend of mine.
No way.
Yes.
How cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. I haven't even thought about them in so long, and I love Barney.
The Stinsons, yeah. I work on Carrie's show, and he says, you interviewed Jenna Paulette. We love her.
Oh, my gosh.
Families know each other.
Yes,
so.
we do.
Yeah.
Please tell them I said hello.
I will. I know you're running to your show, so we'll let you go. All right, we are here with Tyler Braden. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. It's a big day. It's the third day of CMA Fest.
Yes, sir.
How excited are you to be here?
Oh, so excited. We were in Ohio last night, like literally 12 hours ago. We finished the show in Ohio and drove back. We got to play Riverfront stage. We just got off the stage, so it was a great day already.
How was the show?
It was amazing. Yeah, we were the first act of the day, and the crowd was already out there, excited, ready to go, so it was great.
So tell me about your new EP, Neon Graves. Looks really cool.
Yeah, we're excited about this one because we kind of went back a little bit to the rock roots. My first bands I ever played in were rock cover bands, 90s rock, 2000s rock, stuff like that. We kind of went back into that with a little bit of the rock country. I guess the genre lines are already blurred to me, just kind of weird. But, yeah, kind of a rock country thing, especially with the title track, Neon Grave, but yeah.
Awesome. How did you go from rock to country?
Well, I mean, even going to like rehearsals with the rock band and then go to shows. When I was in the car, I was listening to country. My parents have always sang country and brought me up around country music, so that's what I always went back to.
Awesome. I love that you still have the rock influences.
Absolutely.
So is Neon Grave part of a larger project that might result in a full album?
Only time will tell on that one. Yeah, we're excited about it for sure, and it's definitely a different angle than we've went in the past. I'm ready to kind of excited to show the heavier side of things, but again, only time will tell.
That's awesome. So performed today on the Riverfront stage. What else in terms of live? You're on the road, right?
Yeah, we go out with Luke Bryan starting next week. We've got a bunch of shows with them. That's really exciting for us, obviously. I mean, to go out with somebody like that. We've been out so far this year with Mitchell Tenpenny, Brooks and Dunn. We go out later with Dierks Bentley as well, so we've got a pretty full summer ahead of us, but we're ready to go.
How does it feel when you get the call to go out with somebody? It's like a stamp of approval for what you're doing, isn't it?
Absolutely, for sure. And Luke is sure helpful to know new artists. He's taken multiple new artists out with him this year, so we're really thankful for a larger artist to do something like that to help, because he was a new artist one time, so we're excited to go out there and see his show and learn something and learn from their crew and just go out and have fun.
I love it. So what's your tour bus ritual when you're on the road?
When we can get a tour bus,
okay, your travel ritual. We'll put it like that.
No, tour bus ritual. I mean, I'll be completely honest. We're kind of a laid back group, kind of low key hanging out. We don't like get too crazy in our partying. When we get to where we're going, we like try to play some golf, But I mean, we play a lot of like video game golf as well. So we get in there and play some video games and just hang out, just have a good time. The whole crew is really close, friends for a long time. So it's like being at home.
Very cool. I hope to catch you on the road, either on one of those big tours or a solo show. Tyler Braden.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Best of luck with everything.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Drake Milligan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. You were the very first person a few weeks ago at Stagecoach that we happened to catch, and from that moment on, I've been a huge fan.
Oh, man. You endured the heat and everything.
Oh, yeah. The desert. Well, I'm a big Las Vegas guy, so I love the heat. I love the desert.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that was fun. Well, thank you. Yeah.
How did you do it, being up there in that heat, dressed up like this, doing...
yeah. Well, we were good. I wasn't full regalia, so I was well, we were good, like, when I was on this, like, the main part of the stage, it was fine. But as soon as I stepped out on the catwalk where the sun was, I was like, oh. And I looked out of the crowd, I was like, oh, y'all are burning alive out here. I was like, this is hot. But it was great. 20-minute set, nice and sweaty. It was great.
I love the album. I downloaded it immediately. Oh, fantastic. 14 tracks. Every single song is just like classic country. I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. That's what I was going for.
So, I mean, not to be selfish, because I know the album is sort of semi-new, but you working on anything else? Anything new? More music?
Always writing. Always writing. Hopefully going back in very soon to cut some more. I got a new video coming out this week. It's called Hating Everything She Tries On. Got a fun little video for that song. That's on the record. But yeah, I'm always writing, and I've been here writing for a few years, so I've got songs stacked up and looking at some great songs all around town. And yeah, as soon as we can, we're getting back in the studio.
I cannot wait to see that video. I love Hating Everything She Tries On. The imagery in that the idea of that song is just beautiful.
Oh man, thank you. Yeah, it's just fun. It's like everybody knows the lady that can't quite. Our ladies sometimes can't quite figure out what they want to wear.
You
but
tell
it's
her
okay.
you need to be there an hour earlier.
Yeah, but it's okay. But it's okay. We love them for it.
I love it. So, obviously, just to go back a little bit, way before Idol, way before AGT, Sun Records, and then we go and see you on stage, and you move, and even a little bit sound like Elvis. How big of an inspiration is Elvis to you personally?
Yeah, a big inspiration, and Elvis is a big part of why I even perform music. Once I saw Elvis's videos for the first time, and that was when it clicked for me. Of okay, I can like do this. Like music is not just something that is sung or just played. It's something that is. You interact with people. I'd never seen anybody interact with an audience the way Elvis did. Yeah. And for somebody like me, was born 20 years after he died, for me to be able to watch a video and be impacted by him, I was like, that's what it's all about. So yeah, and I spent so many years studying Elvis and his moves and his show that I can't help but if some of it comes across.
A little bit of Austin Butler effect over here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. So what's next? Where can people see you on the road?
Oh man, all over the place. We're playing a ton of festivals, ton of fairs. We're all over the place, all over the states this summer and this fall. Some exciting stuff coming up. So just check out my website, and all the tour dates are on there.
Really, really cool. And I'll be there because that's the cool thing about festivals like this. 50th anniversary of CMA Fest, Stagecoach obviously is you sit down, somebody comes on stage, you've heard the name, you maybe have heard a song, and it connects, and you go, now I'm a fan.
Yeah, exactly. That's
really
what we're trying to do.
really special. Drake Milligan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You really probably should rest your voice by this point, as much talking as you've been doing. You had a ton of interviews, and we're beautiful downtown Nashville, and you got a couple more you got to talk to that were special.
Yes. So we were invited, before we get to those last two, we were invited to a #1 party for Tyler Hubbard, for 5'9", and for Dancing in the Country. It was a double #1 party. So I actually got to ask a question of Tyler Hubbard and of a little unknown songwriter named Keith Urban.
Yeah.
So they're just on the iPhone. It was kind of towards the end of the week, going a little bit out of order here. So it'll be a little bit of shaky footage, but I think it's worth showing the whole thing. So here's the press conference for 5'9" and Dancing in the Country's #1 party. You approach creating and writing, and this is for everybody, writing with him and you as an artist, writing for yourself versus in the past writing for a duo. How did you approach writing a song for yourself?
Well, I don't know, when we were writing 5'9", I think we were just trying to write a great song, Ultimately, at that point, I don't even know if we knew that I was deep. I don't think...
We have no faith in Tyler Hubbard being successful.
I thought I was writing for Jerry Johnson. Yeah, we were trying to get a Cadillac 3 cut.
They're going to Chase McGill cut. I will say, with him, we started pretty early writing for your thing. Everybody knew that you were doing it, but nobody knew what. Nobody knew really what it was yet. I don't think Tyler even knew what it was yet. He was just I could tell he was in a different headspace because all three of us worked with him in the Florida Georgia Line Camp for years, and I could tell his headspace was way different. He's a family guy. Now he's looking at life a little different, I think, than he was writing those other FGL things. And this was his chance to kind of jump out and be like, this is me now. And I think that was some of the fun, the most fun I've had writing songs is seeing him knowing him as long as I have, and seeing him be this grown-ass man now. You know what I mean? And coming from 2010, 2011 when I met him, where we're just running around in bands, just scared in the world, with this new sound or whatever. I think seeing him do that was really fun. And he's a hell of a songwriter too, so that's what's really fun about this whole thing is just we got to sit there that day and write songs about our wives. And everybody wins there. You know what I mean? We all, as songwriters, because it's coming across as real, because it is real. And that's one of the most fun songwriting Nashville memories I have was that day writing 5'9". These guys are great. Good.
We knew it. I feel like it wasn't really established, but it was sort of leaning in that direction. And then when we left the room, Keith did text me and say, "Hey, bro, I love writing your next single." As kind of like a joke, but kind of like, "Hey, bro, it should probably be your next single." And he was just about right. So I feel like I kind of had that nod, Keith's approval. But yeah, ultimately we just wanted to write a great song. I think that was sort of the expectation setting. First off, was just write a great song, and we'll worry about where it's going to live. Let's just write something we're all proud of. We did.
Ross called me after the write and said, "I don't know who's going to cut it. I think one of them could cut it, so probably nobody will cut it."
Keith was the only one that knew it was for me. We're all like, "Oh."
I mean, it was crystal clear because you was singing it right from the get-go. You had the title, you had everything, you had the vision. Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
We're trying to tee it up for you, but that's okay. We'll get that.
So, Keith, was there ever a point where you thought you might end up being the one to cut it, or were you always in the room with Tyler in the mind?
I got a call from Tyler, who was already scheduled to write with John and Ross that day. He goes, "You want to jump in with us?" And I went, "I'd love to, that'd be great." So for me, that it automatically is I know what we're doing. I mean, had I not have shown up, they were writing for Tyler, so it wasn't a scheduled thing for me. So I came with an idea and suggested it to Tyler, and he already had a vision for this 4/4 driving thing, and off the land. It was good because he had such a strong vision for what he wanted.
And you entered into the room with that vision, and you guys kind of met in the middle.
I just like to come to the right prepared, right? And I knew Keith and I have been wanting to work together for a while. We loved you know, Ross, we love John. We had both worked with them together, so I thought, yeah, this would be a great opportunity. Our schedules are super busy, so anytime we get an opportunity, if it makes sense or not, we're like, yeah, let's just try to squeeze it in. So it worked out, and it was the first time we wrote together, and it was sort of magic, you know, it was sort of magic.
Keith is on so many songs, and the same with Tyler. You don't realize sometimes who wrote what, but they both have just dominated country radio and songwriting. So congrats to them on those number ones.
So, buddy, what is your favorite thing about Nashville?
The atmosphere.
I love it. Yeah, I love it too.
Look, we're just standing on the corner on Broadway.
It's really cool.
It's
People
music.
are going by.
Music everywhere.
Bridgestone's right here.
Not even midday.
No.
Music everywhere.
Music everywhere. This town just... I wanted to say this to Garth. This town just... When you come here and you show that you love music, it doesn't matter if you play music. It wraps its arms around you.
It does.
I mean, the amount of things... I didn't have a free day in the 8 or 9 days that I've been here.
Yeah.
I just tripped backwards a little bit because we're kind of on a hill here, but I didn't have a free day whatsoever.
Right.
But that wasn't because I was trying. It was, hey, come to this, come to this, come to this. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
And you just really embrace it. You get involved deeply on so many levels. It's just wonderful.
So one of the folks that I went a little longer with is, you a band Perry fan?
Yeah.
Kimberly Perry has a new EP. It is out right now, 5 songs, including If I Die Young Part 2, a cheerier take on a song about death. And it's a really, really good EP. And it was a fantastic interview. Kimberly Perry, of course, going solo. Mm-hmm. The EP is called Bloom. And I talked with a very pregnant Kimberly Perry about Bloom. Here it is. Kimberly Perry, big fan.
Thank you.
are top 5 for me in terms of female voices, not only in country music, but in all
Thank you so
of
much.
music. Bloom was my walk down music. I walked from the hotel down here.
You did.
Listened to it
How
today.
does it do, like in the walk
beautiful.
on the street block?
Just so nice, and because a lot of it's mid-tempo, so it's
Yeah.
very nice. Beautiful, beautiful project.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really proud of it.
And Bloom, speaking of Bloom, we know
We're
you
blooming
are.
all over the
yes.
place. Little baby boy here.
And I read your Rolling Stone article, and you talk about how If I Die Young Part 2 is to sort of take a more not joyous, but a spin where you want to live life rather than thinking about your own constant death.
Right.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that and the process of going back in and recording new verses to that iconic chorus?
Yeah, I think, so I've even done like a therapy session on why I wrote the original If I Die Young. I was in my early 20s in East Tennessee in my bedroom, and for whatever reason that day was daydreaming about what my funeral would look like if it was mine to plan, if I died young. And as I've kind of gone through the work of going like, why was I imagining that day? I think a lot of it had to do with some hedging of my bets. I was a big dreamer, big daydreamer, and nothing in the wild and wonderful world of country music had happened to me yet.
Yes.
I, at that point, was not in a relationship with my husband that I'm 2 years, we're about to celebrate. And so I think a lot of it was like, I have these beautiful dreams, but it's okay. It's okay if they don't ultimately come true. And so the difference between then and now, when I wrote Part 2, is so much of that has come true. There have been a lot of hits and misses and highs and lows, but ultimately I think I've learned that life just gets sweeter as we live it. We have to put one foot in front of the other, and it's really about embracing our whole human experience. That's what Part 2 is all about.
I love that because there's also a song on the EP, Bloom, about how you don't really look back.
Yeah.
And it's a really creative, clever, fresh take on a breakup song, which I think is really nice. You've moved on, I've moved on, we can be friends.
Yeah.
And I think so many people have experienced that in their life, in their relationships, but there's not been music to reflect that. So it's a really clever take.
Little cry at your funeral chorus there.
Yes.
My mom always had this Southernism that she would say around our house. She was like, I'll cry at your funeral and I'll dance at your wedding. And I thought that was just a really cool way to talk about forgiveness, be it a friend or a former flame or a family member. There are times when the relationships that are the nearest and dearest to us change. Mm-hmm. And it just felt like a really amazing thing to go like, I can still celebrate you. I don't have to carry anything from the past forward. So I'll cry at your funeral and dance at your wedding. I'll love you from a distance.
Mm-hmm. Another thing from that Rolling Stone article that I want to ask you about, hit me to the core, was Did we leave or were we kicked out?
Oh, you mean the actual thing that you click on? So I was like, that is clickbait if I've ever seen it.
I know, because it's not.
I loved it though. I'm
but
here for it.
I'm wondering if you ever came to a conclusion on that.
I think it was. I don't think either side of it was as dramatic as being kicked out or leaving. I think it was somewhere in the middle. I think that, we were definitely wanted to continue to grow. I mean, the first song that we ever put out, If I Die Young, it crossed over to pop radio. But what we were never trying to do was to skip out of the format. We love country music. We love Nashville. So our goal was always to just keep having songs hit number one and then hopefully find a life pop after that. But things happen,
It's your career is so interesting to me because it's a case of who is the arbiter of what music is, right? You people want to label Garth Brooks as country pop, and when you look at him now versus some of the people that were out in the 2010s, he sounds as traditional as it ever was.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting with the way that you express yourself and the music that you do to straddle all of that, and I love the way you showcase that on Bloom.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think country music is really about being an American music. We have some rock influence, we have blues influence, and it's honestly the most diverse the genre has ever been, with everybody from War and Treaty to, Kelsey Ballerini, who sits on our pop country side of the spectrum, to Rita Wilson, who is just I think bringing so many rock roots into the format. So it's an exciting time to be here, and I'm just really happy to be home.
So we have the EP, we have the CMA Fest performance, which I'm going to try to get to.
Oh, come on.
Tour, full album, where are we headed?
So as far as touring, Little Man comes in August, late August. So I'm hopefully, if all things go well, we're looking at a November and December getting started on touring. 2024, we will have a bus baby. We will be all over the country and the world, hopefully, playing all this music. And as far as a full-length project, I'm calling it the Bloom Project because these are the first 5 tracks, but I head back into the studio last week of June to record the second half, LP coming in the fall.
Are we ever going to get something of that flavor of Chainsaw or Benedict?
I love that you asked me
because
this.
I love when you just you get in there. I love that.
Yes. So the last handful of sessions that I've done writing songs for the second half, I literally go into every session. I go, guys, we got to have a Benedict too. We got to have a Chainsaw because they play so well live. I think we nailed it on the back half.
Awesome.
Also, Burn the House Down.
Yes.
Definitely has those teeth.
Yes.
So come to the live show because the
Yes.
band is killing that one live.
I love it. I cannot wait to see you live. And if I don't get to catch this, I'll catch you on the road this winter.
Please.
Kimberly Perry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, this is one.
Oh, I can't. I've been stalling. I've been interviewing Buddy over here about his love for Nashville because I'm terrified about this one.
But the terrifying part is over.
It is.
This is
but
just
I
the
get emotional
introducing part.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Randy Travis and his wife Mary.
That was so cool, man.
Yeah, so again, I'm going into this not seeing these interviews, but just hearing him tell me some things is just gorgeous. So without further ado, Randy and Mary Travis.
We have a real honor and a privilege, and just the man who saved country music in the 80s, as Garth Brooks puts it, Mr. Randy Travis. An honor to have you, Mrs. Travis, Mrs. Mary Travis as well. My gosh, how are you enjoying CMA Fest this year?
We're loving it. It's always fun. It's just kind of like it's a family tradition for us now. Kids love coming. There's so much energy, and it's the nice time when artists give back to the fans, which of course the fans give to the artists all year long. So it's a great time of the year, and we've had beautiful weather. So we're glad we're here again.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I know a couple years ago you released an album, some music that was in the vault. Yeah. I'm wondering if we might have more from the vault coming soon. Do you think you'll kind of dig back in there?
There is more in the vault, and we're hoping that we can get that released sometime this fall, hopefully, because there's some beautiful music in there, and of course anything you hear out of that voice right there is a good day in music, so we're hoping we get that released.
It is a question that if I could have ever asked Mr. Travis here, I'll address it to you, and then Mary, if you could answer. You became famous in a time when the urban cowboy craze was kind of coming. What kept you and your music traditional I mean, you broke through and saved the traditional sound. What kept you traditional? If you can answer that.
I think Randy would tell you that that's all he knew, and that's all he wanted to know. And it when you do get to Nashville, you think you know what you want, and then you start getting pulled in different directions by labels, by radio stations, by people that want you to try this, try that. And the better you are at being a musician, the broader they think that you can, cover the territory. And Randy would always just say, I want to stay traditional. I think in retrospect, it's probably what took him longer to be discovered, because they were looking for the urban cowboy sound at that time. And but then when Martha Sharp heard him, she's like, that's what we're looking for, to bring it back to where it was before. So he wasn't gonna be swayed. And at one point in time, they told him that Three Wooden Crosses had made the pop charts, and his first reaction was, we'll get it off of there.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I'm sure you know this story, but I want to tell it because I was there. Charlottesville, North Carolina boy. We are in the stadium. Garth is about to go on. The last song they're playing, they crank it up, Forever and Ever Amen, unprompted. It's like you were on stage. The music has made the leap. And I know you're not performing anymore, but that music, it has made the leap and made you timeless. Thank you. And as you preserve his legacy and work with him to preserve his legacy, how does that make you feel, seeing it continue on even though he's not on stage anymore?
Well, I think that's what makes a legend. What he did speaks for itself. He did all the work. They did all of the right things at the right time to create the status that he has as a legend. And music is just something that good music never goes away.
Right.
That's why we still sing hymns from, hundreds of years ago. That's why the music that our parents and our grandparents listened to, that's music that doesn't ever die. And Randy made music that just won't die. I mean, it lasts forever and ever.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Excuse me, my editor, who is also a huge fan, sent in some notes, some questions. He wrote this question, then we'll get to the radio station in a second. And I'm curious your perspective on this too. When you look at Randy's career, what do you think the defining moment was?
Ooh, one defining moment? I don't think that one moment in time stands out. I think that because if it did, then there would be a lot more people that had one moment in time that made them, historical or whatever you call it. It was hard work for a long time, and I think that that's the way anything in life is putting in the blood, sweat, and tears over a long period of time.
And I also know you have a great relationship with Cole Swindell.
We love Cole.
Yeah.
Love Cole. What a sweet man.
I was so mad last year. I left to send, try to beat the crowd. He was the last one. Oh. And you came out at the end, and I was towards the exit. Gone. So that's why this is such an honor. Before we let you go, got to talk about Y'all 106.7. The first song they played was Forever and Ever Amen. How did that make you feel to be honored in such a way, and your involvement with the station?
Well, when we got the call, that they wanted Randy to be there to hit the button that changed the station from where the format it was on to the traditional 80s and 90s country. There's a lot of great artists from that period that they could have contacted, and to pick this guy here, it just meant a lot. And I tell you, when it happened yesterday, I didn't think I was going to get emotional. I got so emotional because he hit that button, the genre changed, and then they kicked it off, and he did it perfectly on time. And then there went Forever and Ever Amen. We've been listening to it ever since in the car, every time we get in the car. And it is a beautiful station. It's just going to, I wish that more stations would follow their lead. But sweetest people in the world, Mary Lee Wright, that I think heads up that station, and a lot of those, they're just the nicest people in the world. And to be there was, Yeah, it was very emotional, and what a great crew over there. So
What I will say is history is, to close this out, history is repeating itself. You had the so-called bro country movement, and now artists that are my age, late 20s and older, they're citing you. They're citing Garth, they're citing you, they're citing everybody. Whereas you were coming up in that urban cowboy phase, but you brought it back to what we now call the neo-traditional sound.
Yeah.
What do you think as you watch music, the country music landscape evolve, that we're turning back towards the sound that Mr. Travis here pioneered?
I think you always go back to good. I think that's just, in life we try different things, but I think that there's a plumb line. There's a I guess what would you call it? There's a standard, and you might sway a little bit. It's like learning to color, and you may color outside the lines and try to get creative, but it always comes back to just one thing, and that's just good music that tells a story that hits people in the heart. I mean,
you get emotional.
I do.
You've been living forever and ever, amen, and it still hits you.
It does. I mean, just thinking about his career and the lives that he's changed and the people that we've talked to and the stories that I get to hear, I feel so blessed. But the music, it when you find music like that and it reminds you of a time and a place or a person in your life that meant so much, like a grandpa or a dad or a mom, it just someone special. It's just, and somebody once told us, they said, well, Randy can sing a breakup song and it sounds like gospel. You know, it makes it sound like breaking up is fun and it's okay.
It's like,
and you know, it's,
why am I rocking out to Hard Rock Bottom of My Heart? Why is this a bop when it's so sad?
But I'm feeling so good.
Well,
but it's just his presentation.
Garth has started talking about that in Vegas, and if you'll forgive my language, he calls it going in the shitter. But it's exactly what you said. Feels so good about feeling so bad, and your career has taken us on. Your music has taken us on such wonderful emotional journeys. I get chills every time I hear your music, Mr. Travis.
You are so
Mrs.
sweet,
Travis.
and it has lasted
Thank you.
generations. So
yes,
that speaks for itself. And
Thank
you
you
are so
very
sweet
much.
to have us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we love Garth. He's just, you know, every time I get a chance, I thank Garth for carrying Randy, since Randy can't speak for himself now, but Garth keeps him out there, you know, in the front, and that means so much to us.
It's
a kindness that he doesn't have to, you know, to share, but he does.
Your legacy is incredible. And we shared a moment after that I don't want to share with the public, but I told you about because my grandfather had the same thing that happened to Randy. And it was, first of all, I didn't mean to make Mary cry in the interview, so sorry, Mary. And number two...
That's sweet, though.
Yeah, it was. And number two, he's everything you hope he would be.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet a guy named Garth Brooks, who just launched...
The big 615 right here from Music Row with TuneIn. That's why I'm here.
Yes. So we talked with Garth about that, about music, about Vegas, about everything. We just talked to him a few weeks ago, and I saw him at Billboard. So we're going to close this out with somebody I think I could safely say is our friend, Garth Brooks.
How this thing kind of started was Bob and Randy, you guys know management, said, hey man, we got a really kind of cool proposal here from a company. You look them up. David Letterman does interviews still on his own kind of thing now. He's interviewing Hanks, and he says, greatest app on your phone. Hanks doesn't hesitate. He goes, TuneIn. He goes, why? He says, because I can hear where I'm from anywhere on the planet. So to think about taking a country station global is fantastic. What I love most about this is we're here to promote country music. Right along, brothers, right alongside with terrestrial radio, with the visual country music channels as well. Just getting to be part of the family, and that family is pretty cool.
Speaking of hearing new music from favorite artists, will there be an opportunity to hear maybe some new Garth Brooks on the big 615?
Yeah, I have an exclusive streaming deal with Amazon, but they are on demand, which allows me to be with these guys. These guys are with Amazon. Well, they're with Rich. You can address all the companies that you can get TuneIn, but since I'm an Amazon guy, I'm going to ask you to do that in private. But you can get it anywhere. But yeah, I think so, because I want to hear how my stuff holds up as well. But my thing, man, if I can just be, the word usually is honest here. Let's go egotistical. Carly Pearce. If you're a fan of Carly Pearce, some of the singles she has are fantastic. Some of the album cuts, why weren't they singles? Guess what? You're going to hear that here, right? And this place has a top 20 countdown every week. So you're going to hear what the analytics of TuneIn is crazy. They can get it down to the person, and they know when that person turns that channel off. They know. So if we've got a Garth Brooks song, let's just pick on Garth Brooks. If we got a Garth Brooks song and they see 10% of their audience just go off, they're going to go, okay, that one doesn't work. So the analytics and the true representation of the top 20 on this channel will be really cool. And you know, with analytics, it's going to get better every day.
Buddy, I used to watch you all the time on Country Music Across America.
Yeah, my gosh. It seems like 1,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it was a great show, and now you're actually going to be heard country music across the world.
Wow. You know what? That's the first time I've put those things together. That's amazing. Yeah, I started with country music across America, and now it's country music around the planet, which has always been kind of the goal. Actually, that show aired in Australia for a long time, for like over a decade. So I've always had that connection to the global country music audience.
Yeah.
It's been really, really exciting.
Yeah, well, like Garth said, you are one of the many faces of country music. And we actually, this is my co-host Matt.
Hi, how are you? Storme Warren.
We actually went to one of the Ireland shows to see Garth.
Oh, yeah.
And oh my God, we had no idea country music was that loved there.
It's. I was just talking about that the other day. I've found over the years traveling around the world that as passionate fans as the U.S. have, the global country music fan base might even be more passionate because they're starved for it.
Right.
And so if we can do our part to bring it to them, I think that's really our only job, is just to make this world a much smaller place.
You and Garth have talked a lot about kind of coming up together in your respective people keep walking in front of our camera. Coming up in your respective sides of the industry. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the first time you met Garth Brooks?
Absolutely. We were covering a Christmas special he was in with Kenny Rogers and was it the Backstreet Boys? Or Boys to Men. Boys to Men, and Garth was one of the stars of it with Kenny Rogers. It's the first time I ever met him. He was getting onto his bus, and I had a camera, and I ran up to him and I said, "Mr. Brooks," and he turned his head. And from that moment, there was some kind of like just connection and spark that I've never forgotten. And wherever he goes, I want to be right next to him.
Wow. Well, you're playing such a big role in this. Are you going to, not only be heard throughout the world, obviously, but are you hosting the countdown?
Yes, the Big 20 Countdown. It'll air every Saturday morning and all throughout the weekend. And we've already done 4 of them in beta. It's just testing, so we're getting the wheels turning on it. And the first official countdown will air this Saturday. So it's really exciting.
That is awesome. Storme Warren, glad.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
To have you.
Thanks for the support, and thanks for loving music.
Absolutely. We'll see you down the road.
Great job, guys.
Thank you. It's really cool. Really, really cool. So excited about this. Buddy, go ahead and ask the first question.
We've been to 2 opening nights of Vegas, the first 2 shows. We've got one next month. We've got one in December, probably some next year. Pleasure and the Pain, my God.
Oh, thank you.
Such a awesome song. You mentioned at Billboard Live that he covered that song would coincide with this.
He kind of teased,
alluded.
Maybe something was coming about that song at this press conference. Is anything?
If you're going to hear it, this is where you're going to hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we're streaming partners with Amazon, but this place will play new stuff, old stuff. So think of it more like where terrestrial radio is song-driven, single-driven. We're more artist-driven here. So Luke Combs, if you're tuned in for Luke Combs, you're going to hear a single. But every now and then you're going to hear an album cut from him too, because I think you tune into this place for the artists as well as the songs. So we want to take care of all the traditional music fans and new country music fans, and you can do it because country music is one family.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, when you mentioned that about the album cuts, song that's been on my mind lately of yours is Cold Shoulder.
Oh, wow. You're going way back.
Yeah, Rope in the
That's
Wind.
Fun. Yeah, Cold Shoulder is Miss Sherwood's favorite song. She loves that song. She sings anytime you do it in sound check. She has to come out and sing with it.
So speaking of being artist-driven,
yes,
you are so well known for giving the musicians their due. You're talking about steel and fiddle up here, and you're going to hear it. We did a feature on Musicians Hall of Fame. Mr. Chris came out and was our tour guide.
That's great.
How important are the musicians to you, and how will they be highlighted?
They're everything, right? They're everything. I don't know how they'll be highlighted. What I love is anything that is not terrestrial, anything that's satellite or 5G or anything, the musicians get paid on every cut they play on, which is great. Because think of, I didn't write the dance. Tony Arata wrote the dance, but Tony Arata did not write that intro.
Yeah.
That's all Bobby Wood just off the top of his head. Think of the dance without that intro.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys are so important. I love them. I feel lucky to be with them.
And back to kind of Vegas to kind of wrap with Big 615, could we possibly hear or see any of that stuff on this channel?
Well, here's the kind of a thing in the business. These guys don't do anything you can see visually. So they get it because they want all their stuff themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But can we pop in and do a dive bar show live on this Big 615? You bet your ass
There
we
we
can.
go.
For 2 hours, right? You just pop in and you're going to be inside the bar with us. You won't see anything. You can close your eyes and imagine. But so we can go anywhere we want. That's one of the great things about getting to do this.
Well, hopefully we'll see Friends in Low Places and see you there.
Yeah.
Or hear it on the Big 615.
Fair enough. Let's do both.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Garth.
Hey.
Oh, Matt, Nashville's always fun. I'm glad to be back. Thank you for all the coverage and hard work you've put into the last week.
Thank you for coming over for the press conference. And
absolutely.
To do this
So I was supposed to be with my family in Missouri. We went to Branson after we got in on Monday and then drove to Nashville the night before the big reveal of the Big 615. So congrats to Garth, congrats to TuneIn, congrats to everybody. I know we'll be back.
It's fantastic. Yes, this was a perfect week. Thank you, CMA Fest, for having us out for the 50th anniversary. Congrats to Alabama on their Pinnacle Award.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
It's been a fantastic week. Check out all our coverage at themusicuniverse.com.
And, of course, like, subscribe, and share right here, tmupod.com and at The Music Uni. Take care.
If you're watching on YouTube, before we say take care, make sure to click and watch if it's up yet, our coverage of the Musicians Hall of Fame with the legendary Mr. Chris Lusinger. That's a kind of a self-contained thing I did at the Musicians Hall of Fame on the first day of CMA Fest.
You'll see it in our videos. It will be coming soon if it's not, because it's more of a little more in-depth of what we do here on the podcast. So it'll be a separate piece, and we're honored that they allowed us to do it. And thank you for Chris and everybody that was involved with that.
For the Music Universe, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Take care.
Garth Hug.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.